movies
ผู้ชมกำลังชมรายการ TheMovies กับผมนิทรานกันต่อนะครับจะดูหนังให้สนุกต้องรู้ลึกรู้จริงรู้แจ้งกับผมเป็นประจำทุกเช้าวันเสาร์ในเวลาดีๆแบบนี้ทางช่อง MVtv Family นะครับในช่วงฮอลลีวูดเรื่องต่อไปนะครับเป็นเรื่องราวของ The Intern เรื่องราวดีๆยังมีมาฝากกันยังไม่หมดนะครับเรามีบทสัมภาษณ์ของดาราและทีมงานมาฝากคุณผู้ชมทางบ้านเชิญชมกันได้แล้วครับช่วง Hollywood
Hi, Jules. I'm Ben, your new intern.
Don't feel like you have to dress up. I mean, we're super cash here.
At least I'll stand out.
I don't think we need a suit to do that.
Want the door open or closed?
Doesn't matter. Open, actually. Honestly, my in-laws. I had just come from spending some time with them over the holidays, and we wanted to go to the movies together, and we couldn't find a movie that spoke to all of us. And I just remember thinking, God, this is so sad, like that we can't find a movie that we want to see together. Like, and I was thinking back to like movies from the 90s, like Cameron Crowe films and James L. Brooke movies, and I just thought, where are they? And literally 3 days later, the script showed up. So I just thought, oh great, this is a movie that we can all go see together. And now it exists. It's so cool.
I'm Ben Whitaker. I have an appointment with Miss Austin.
I thought she was meeting with her new intern.
That's me.
How old are you?
70. You?
I'm 24. I know I look older. It's the job. It ages you, which won't be great in your case.
Our investors just think that a seasoned CEO could take some things off your plate.
I did not see that coming.
She's just trying to do right by everybody. The company, the family. The pressure is unbelievable. Well, Nancy told me about the script and sent it to me, and I knew that if she had sent it to me, she sent it with knowing her, knowing that the kind of director she was, the person she was. She was a real stickler for detail and this, so she did a lot of, I knew she did a lot of homework and thinking about it before she asked me if I wanted to do it. And that was good. So I was fine. I was happy to do it. I liked the script a lot, and there was no question as to whether I could do it. Of course I did.
My intern sure keeps busy.
Mr. Congeniality. Everybody loves him. Here she comes. Hey, Beck, what's up? You look really nice. How long can a woman be mad at you for?
I assume you talked to her, apologized.
I emailed her. Subject line, I wrote, I'm sorry, with like a ton of O's. So it's like, I'm sorry. With the sad emoticon where he's crying.
But it's pretty clear the way she wrote it. You know, it's right there. It's just a guy who retired, had a sort of a typical, not typical, but he had a sort of certain type of job that wasn't too, I imagine, too demanding in some ways, and just, but yet he managed to be well out of retired, you know, pretty conventional, not much of a, no real bumps in the road, a great marriage, loved his wife, white, and have kids.
Great kids, you're great kids, right?
Great kids, so,
Bob's made like 8 movies since that one.
yeah, exactly. So, yes, the great kids, I'm not he was, okay?
Well, I think one of the things Nancy does with this movie, which is so amazing, is she manages to grab these issues that we haven't been talking about, but I know I've been thinking about. And so when I read the script, it was like it was a conversation I wanted to be at there. It was a discussion I wanted, and at the center of it was this young woman. And the thing that I loved about what Nancy did with Jules was that she didn't make her the kind of archetypal bitch boss. She didn't make her kind of like the tough, cold, unapproachable boss. She made her a girl, and in many ways Ben's a guy, and Jules has so many wonderful traits, and she just happens to be in a moment that she's overwhelmed. And Ben comes in and sort of gives her the space and the tools she needs to navigate that moment. But he doesn't navigate it for her. She navigates it for herself. And I loved reading the character. And, a lot of times, I mean, maybe it's just what I've been doing lately, but sometimes you look at the character and you go, oh, thank God my life's not like that. But with Jules, I felt like I learned a lot from her.
Good times.
The truth is something about you makes me feel calm, more centered or something.
I could use that, obviously. How in one generation have men gone from guys like Jack Nicholson and Harrison Ford to...
I think that's great. When I saw that, I said, yeah, it's that simple. Because, younger kids, teenagers, they think they know, they're trying to find themselves. There's a lot of thrashing about, and also the phrase "youth is wasted on the young" is, you can apply it to a lot of people who don't get all that energy they're wasting on things that really are not going to matter in 10 years, 15 years. Just stick to what you should be doing and move forward. Otherwise, you're going to, the classic one is Rebel Without a Cause with James Dean.
I'm Fiona, the house masseuse. Love that there's another oldie but goodie here. How's that been?
Well, that's oh boy.
Here you go.
You're not as old as I thought you were.
The movie? I also like Marlon Brando and the motorcycle.
Wild One.
What was his name in that?
Ben is the person who inspires us all to be our best and to look up from our computers and look at each other in the eye and really engage.
Let's have a little fun.
I had a lovely and so much of the chemistry was in the writing. It was, when you take on a job and it says that, by the beginning they don't know each other, by the end they're best friends. You just go, okay, that's a part of it. But there was a really lovely moment when we were filming the Facebook scene, the pizza and Facebook scene. And it's a pretty long scene. I think 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. And there was this one take and the camera was behind me, so I was only looking at Bob. And I just had this thing happen where you sort of forget that you're acting and you just kind of feel like you're talking to a person. And then they all cut. I was like, oh wow. And then with that, a crew guy who, he's done a million movies, he's seen it all. He came over to me and he goes, I'm just having the best time watching this scene. And that made me feel really
I'm Fiona, the house masseuse.
Hi, Fiona. Ben.
Hey, does that feel okay?
It feels great, actually. Thank you.
It's a little bit tight, Ben.
I haven't sat at a desk for a while. My body's not used to it.
Oh, I get it. Plus, they say sitting is the new smoking. I spotted you in the lunchroom. I wondered who you were.
Did it? Oh.
And someone told me you were an intern. That's pretty cool of you to do this.
Oh, it's a brave new world. Thought I'd jump in and see what it's all about.
I'm constantly amazed at what they do here. Love being a part of it. How's that been?
Well, that's oh boy.
Good.
Jason.
Okay, good.
Here you go.
Is that better?
Oh, my boy. Oh, boy.
Oh, how's that?
Boy.
That was nice to meet you, Ben. Love that there's another oldie but goodie here.
Nice to meet you.
See you later?
Love to.
Me too.
You're not as old as I thought you were. I had anything like this in my life. This big, beautiful, exciting thing that you created. Remember who did that?
Who?
Ben comes from the old school man's man world.
You should dress to impress. Tuck in the shirt. Why doesn't anybody tuck anything in anymore? Oh, I'm asking you.
Well, she's very good, very specific, exacting, and which is what you need, really. She's very, very particular, and rightfully so, in what she wants. And it can be a very subtle direction, but it's a good one. So, I'm used to things these days get a little more movies. Unless there's certain types of movies, the budgets are more constrained, and so you have to do things faster. You can do a lot of great stuff, and it doesn't. But I'm also used to doing movies in the tradition of in the 70s and even the 80s, where he took a long time to get something to make a film, and so I'm used to it. And especially with Nancy, it's very important. She's just very, very specific about stuff, and you need that.
The thing that when I think about Nancy, I think about two scenes. One was I just needed to get this line, and we shot it a bunch of times, like a lot, because I wasn't giving her exactly what she wanted, and that was totally cool. And then I think about another scene that happens later on in the movie, which is really, really emotional for me. And we just come back from lunch, and I was trying to get back to that place, and I just said, oh my God, I need a second. And I just sat down on the floor, and all of a sudden I looked up, and Nancy was sitting on the floor with me. And she had so much pressure on her, and she just said, take your time, let's just talk. And so she's both things, she's that person who will push you to get the best out of you, even if it means saying the line 50 times. And then when you see the movie, you're like, oh, you're right, it was that 50th take. And she's also the really, really great, warm person who will get down on the floor with you and give you the support that you need. So, and she's the most spectacular writer, and she makes movies that I adore. And I was just happy to finally get to work with her. This is my third time auditioning for her, and I finally got.
No exception to that. I think that the fans of her previous films will see that this is a very familiar world in a lot of ways that Nancy has created in the past.
Well, you see, that's the funny thing. I can't have a baby because I have a 12:30 lunch meeting.
We're used to seeing Nancy make movies about people who are in their 30s, 40s, sometimes 60s. And so it's a really fun playground.
You should dress to impress. Tuck in the shirt. Why doesn't anybody tuck anything in anymore? Oh, I'm asking you.
I think after Something's Gotta Give, then The Holiday, then It's Complicated, there was a lot about love relationships, and there are other kinds of relationships.
Say cheese.
I always wanted to make a movie about a friendship between a man and a woman that didn't have to cross over into any other place.
You're my...
Intern.
Well, I was gonna say intern/best friend.
When you buy a ticket to one of her films, there's an expectation, and she always delivers.
It's the whole picture, no pun intended.
Look and learn, boys, because this is what cool is. How in one generation have men gone from guys like Jack Nicholson and Harrison Ford to...
Public.